What's up, WWE Champions Universe? Welcome to Champions Chat, the fastest growing, well, it was at one time, but the fastest growing podcast dedicated to the WWE Champions mobile game. I'm the American Nightmare, Rusty Graves. And with me, as always, the last time is now, Lee Brown. What's up, Lee?
What's up, Rusty? How have you been? It feels like forever since we've done this.
It has been months. I'm not sure that we've done a podcast in 2025. I think the last episode we recorded together, if I look at my notes, was the best of 2024 year in review episode, and here we are. We are back from the grave like the mid card Undertaker rising from the ashes to
start us out like that, are you?
Ride his motorcycle. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, we are on our Friday night Twitch show trying out to see if this works, and we don't have video capabilities for you to see us. So this is, if you're watching on audio, great. Or if you're listening on audio, you don't care. You're just enjoying what you're hearing. For the rest of us, I'm going to be playing the Backlash tours that are currently locked on the content creator account, and it always frustrates me that those are locked. And so you're going to see me piddling around on the game as we talk tonight, as well as Lee. We're going to talk about this MLC. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, and hopefully we're going to get to WWE TV conversation about WrestleMania predictions if we have time.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, well,
that sounds good to me.
The question, as always, what's up, Lee? Lee, I've noticed a few things about the game lately, and I wonder if you have just any general observations as we kind of just discuss the state of affairs. Since our last episode, so much has changed. We have received new content creators in the community, both on the Scopely content creation team and ones in the community who are just making really, really good content because they love the game. Some of those would be like Leisha Darling, who's primarily, Twitch streaming. And then we see, McDuck is making videos on YouTube. Slim Numbers. Slim Numbers, the human calculator. It's making great J-Man Gaming. Iron Sheik is still making videos as well as moderating the Reddit, the subreddit, a Champions Community Chat. There's so much happening in the community. I think this is the most active time that I can ever remember. And let me just ask you, you've tuned into content longer than I have, Lee. Are we in an unprecedented, unparalleled time? Or is this just how it used to be and I just don't remember it?
Well, we've seen some content creators disappear as well, even in the official team, whether they're gone or on break or things. I think the game goes in popularity as WWE itself goes in popularity, for one. And for two, I would say there is a lot of new content creators, a lot of people who are making content about the game, which I think is awesome. And it also goes to, I've heard, I don't think I'm sharing anything behind the scenes here, but I've heard from some of the Scopely team that we do get connected to that, like, newer players are connecting to the game more. People are sticking around longer. Engagement is up. So yeah, I think all the way around, it makes sense for content to be a bigger deal when there's more people playing it. So yeah, just some thoughts. Hope you enjoyed them. Can you hear me? Why do I feel like you can't hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? You can hear me, but I sound robotic? What happened to Rusty? What? Why would I sound robotic? Interesting. Rusty dropped, feels right. Yeah, and the game's not okay. No, the game is moving. I don't know what in the world's happening here. Let me see if I can text message him. Uh, let's see. You gone, bro? Rusty's got to quit getting Temu Electronics. Estim Gordo says I can hear Lee just fine. Not potatoy or robotic-y. Big love. Rusty, blink twice if you need help. Blink twice. I don't honestly know what's happening here. Like I see the screen moving. Oh where has my Rustifer gone? Oh where could he be? You see what happens when you leave the stream, Rusty? I start singing, and that is a horrid event for anybody. Do I sound Robotnik, Kurgan? I don't know what's happening here. Rusty. Rusty. He's really what happened? I'm confused. Okay, Rusty says he's hearing everything I say, but we can't hear you. We didn't deserve that. Very confused. Very, very confused. Okay, the robot voice is gone. That's a start. Good. We just don't hear Rusty. He has read my... Yeah, OBS doesn't mean one big silence. I have ear pods and Lee. Okay, it sounds like I'm beside an electric line. Interesting. Weird. Well, it wouldn't be a Champions stream without internet issues. Smiles, do you hear who? Do you hear me? Although the screen is not moving, so... Okay, so to clarify, you guys can hear me, and I'm sounding better, right? Can you hear either of us?
Resync this. Can you hear me? Is my voice being heard?
I can hear you.
What
happened?
I think the cable on my microphone just came loose, and then the computer didn't know how to interpret what was going on, so I just was gone.
Telvin says it sounds like there's a vacuum running. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's a fan that I have pointed at my computer, so they can hear that, because I didn't want it to overheat. Yeah. That's how Kmart my setup is, bro. That I had a fan. Kmart? Yeah, do you know Kmart? Are you old enough to know Kmart? It's been a while. I just had it. Oh yeah. Okay, so is that vacuum noise gone now? And can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, Telvin says not anymore, so it seems like things are good now, I guess.
Okay, I turned the fan off. So crazy. Well, this is just showing you that we are trying to work the kinks out of months and months of dormancy, like a hibernating bear that is stretching his legs as the fall and winter snow melts.
Are you still recording? Because I mean,
Yeah.
we can cut the audio down, right? We can at least edit this or something.
Yeah, I'm recording. I never stop recording. I never stop
Okay, ask them
stopping.
if they can hear me, because now I'm saying hip designer says we can't hear Lee now.
Are you kidding me? Can
I
you
hope
hear
he's
me, Lee?
joking.
Lee,
I can
can
hear
you?
you.
Is the chat effing with you, bro? Or are they? Are you?
I, I don't
Uh,
know. Ask them. They can't hear me, so I can't ask them.
Surely, can you guys hear Lee? Like, and be honest, because it feels like we're playing a weird game right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, they're messing with us then.
oh,
Oh, geez. I got worried.
I think we're in
Yep.
I think we're in a moment where the game is, you said it, is rising in popularity because WWE TV is rising in popularity. And those two things go together. We're getting new players. We're getting new, I think they're getting new viewers. But I wonder, Lee, are we how is the game, how friendly is the game to new people?
I mean, it's getting a lot better towards that end of things. Like they're giving away tier level and things like that, but your B tier characters didn't used to be able to do very much. I mean, they were when you had to use them only, and now, I mean, some of the B tier characters can be like R-Truth. If you got both his gears, R-Truth is a menace. He's hugely good, but Batista Bomb, etc. There's some things like that. Plus, you're starting to get things a lot earlier. They've shortened the leash on, like when you and I first started playing, there was a lot of little things you had to do to get your league levels up, and it could take weeks and weeks. And now you're going to be just straight up where you can compete and get through some of the leagues faster. Yeah, Baby Ice in the chat said Showboat Charlotte. Showboat Charlotte is free, 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 free. And the gears are free if you just continue to grind in your faction. And she is a very top level character now. So, I mean, yeah, it's very, very much more friendly. Now, there's a lot of mechanics. That's why, like, our back to basics videos and things like that are super important to watch. There's a lot of mechanics to figure out, but the curve is a lot friendlier than it ever used to be.
You know what Gerson told me recently? He said with our back to basics videos and our when I did like kind of like a side project with Blueski, the roster coach, like
Yeah.
he said no one has made a video explaining like what is a blast gem? Like what does it do? How does it
Yeah.
work? How should you utilize, like he said, like there's nothing that actually explains all of the micro details that we basically take for granted, right? We I know what a blast gem is because I learned it 7-8 years ago, right? Whenever they were introduced in the game, and yet no one um has really circled back to say here's what that stuff is. Um,
Hmm.
Almost on an entry level introduction, or maybe an introductory level to the game. Is that something you
Oh,
think the
maybe that's
community would actually enjoy watching us talk about? What is a blast gem, for example?
I don't know. I mean, Big Love, we do have a video on how to make sure you know where your wildcard gem goes every time. But yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing, like as new players come into the game, you've got to have those those type videos ready to go for people who are just trying to figure it out. And that's where we started our podcast. Like that was the basic level stuff that we covered, and people ate it up. So maybe there's still an audience for that. Maybe I don't know what my tomorrow holds. It's my first and only day off in a while, and I don't know. Maybe I'll
Hmm.
make some back to basics videos. Who
What
knows?
is a blast gym? Coming soon
What
to
is
a
a
YouTube
black
channel
gym?
near you. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. So like as I'm running this this stream tonight, Lee, I am picking some of the most insane, whaliest superstars that I literally have never used before. Look, this is the IOW Rock, the powerhouse Rock. I have no clue if I can win this match. I didn't even put an entourage. I don't know what his moves are. So I'm just trying to have some fun with the gameplay too and pretend like I'm a new guy to the game. Oh, no MP. That hurts. Okay. Um, well, let's talk about Spring Outbreak. Spring Outbreak has just finished, and it was a 2 week event. It had a solo contest, it had a faction contest, right? A spend component. You had to kind of play the long game uh, of the faction contest and see like how you were going to climb that what would you say? Climb the progression in the
Yeah.
contest, and then also to see like how you could accumulate the prize wall currency. So very reticent of kind of what we call the Rocky contest or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle contest.
Redder event. Yeah.
What are
Very
your
similar to
thoughts?
that, I saw.
What are your thoughts on Spring Outbreak?
Well, our faction did really well, which certainly helped me out a lot. So I had a very good one. Very, very good, like RNG on certain things that I was going for. So that was helpful. Overall, though, I mean, I think I would guess that at least getting something like maybe Zombie Brett's gear or something like that would be fairly accessible across the community. The pearls really depends on what your faction spent, and so that was harder. But they did have what I think was like two oopsies. They had like a budget priced oopsie and like a big priced oopsie. Yeah, but you did actually get something out of it. It felt like, yeah. I don't know if Twitch app just said like it actually felt like you got something out of that one because there was so many plates and shards for Zombie Punk and just so many different things that I personally walked away quite happy from that specific event. I like that format. I like the Rocky event. I like the Shredder event. I think it was closer to Shredder because Rocky had where you could like spend your like you could whatchamacallit, you could what was it? You spam your auto clear tickets to get like a specific mini prize wall currency, and that definitely wasn't a part of it this time. But
Oh, I
otherwise,
was
I
worried
thought it
you were
was very
about to
good.
say that was because I was like, oh no, that was part of it. My heart just
Yeah.
sunk as you
You
said that.
totally for Yeah, you could have gotten 7 moments for free. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my
Yeah, no, that
gosh.
wasn't a part of it.
That's the
Not
FOMO.
this time
The
around.
FOMO is real, man. The FOMO, the fear of missing out. Do you
Yeah.
feel like these contests, do they amplify FOMO or do they actually eliminate FOMO? Because you kind of see what's going on in on a longer timeline. It's kind of a
Like
slow
the
burn.
MLC format or
I don't know, just
I
the
don't
typical weekend, right? Let's say boss battle weekend. It's easy to get that
yeah.
FOMO because a new plate is introduced and you don't know how you're going to do in the contest. And you're trying to figure out if you can afford enough, like flash market rubies to try to get extra points in the contest. And
Right.
it's kind of all, okay, you get what I call lizard brain. You just start like, oh,
Right.
where do I get the points? Where do they come from? Well, like this thing had like 80 milestones and they went on for 2 weeks. And I felt like
Right.
I was very relaxed in this contest. I liked it. I didn't freak out at even once in it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, and as Telvin said, the mini event was better than the overall MLC so far. I don't know. I mean, like this MLC was defined by mini events for me because
Hmm.
like the Hornswoggle event was super fun, even though I didn't get him. I was Really wishing I would. I really liked Hornswoggle.
I didn't get him
Hopefully
either.
they offer him again. And then the zombie event, like Spring Outbreak, is always a highlight. So I'm not going to share numbers, but my wife and I were doing our taxes. Well, technically, my wife was doing our taxes, and when I got home at 10:30 last night, she was like, "Hey, I need some information from, your YouTube channel to make a few things happen," which also then brought up how much money I've spent
Oh Lord.
this last year. But most specifically, she was like, "Wow, like it seems like you spent a good amount of money like last April. What was going on then?" I was like, Spring Outbreak." So apparently, and then I took advantage of the oopsie, which was a massive oopsie. So apparently I
It was
spent
a
money
massive
on
oopsie.
zombies.
It was.
Yeah.
I also was okay. Well, a few thoughts on that. First of all, um, I learned a term recently that we have a friend that's a marriage counselor, and she said
Okay.
one of the leading causes of divorce is a term known as financial infidelity. Have you ever heard this term, Lee?
Ooh.
Do you know this term?
Oh.
I'm new to
I
this
mean,
term.
I can deduce it pretty quick, but
Well, financial infidelity is when you try to hide money or purchases from your spouse and they
okay.
discover them. And it's
Wow.
one of the kind of it's like, you've done me dirty. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you bought that. I didn't know we had that much debt. So side note, if you're out there hiding purchases from your partner, your spouse, I don't know who else would be kind of co-manage, your beloved. Yeah. Whoever
Yeah.
your significant other might be, and you have one bank account and yet they don't know about the game expenses. Can I just say it's so much better if you're able to be open and honest, then they discover it at the end of the year come tax time, or if they look at the credit card statement and they realize, like my wife told me recently, I can look at our credit card statement. I can see all of the purchases that were your purchases and all the purchases that were my purchases. And the only purchases you seem to have on the credit card statement are from something called Xsola. And I was like, oh.
Oh. Shh.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Now, I don't think I committed financial infidelity because I owned it. I was like, yeah. That's the game. That's what I spent on the game. She goes, do you realize last March? And she brought out the data, and I was like, ooh. So, all that to say is, let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
if you're doing that, you should probably come clean, but in a way that is helpful and clarifies what you love about the game, and that it's a hobby, that it's an expense, that it's part of your entertainment funds, and that it's if you wrestle with any addictive tendencies, something that might be really helpful to share with your partner is like, listen, I struggle with some addiction issues, and this is like the most innocent addiction, right? That this could manifest in much unhealthier ways. And that's something that my wife knows. I could be like going to craft beer festivals.
Trading in hippopotamus blubber.
Yeah, I mean, I could be, like I was a smoker in my younger years, and destructive to my body, right? Really bad for me. And that was an addiction I could not continue because I was already manifesting like health issues even in my early 20s, like about how bad the nicotine and tobacco use was. All that to say, sports betting, like this game is so much more healthy than actual gambling, right?
So trying to justify something here, Rusty.
No, but
starting to name things.
What I'm trying to do is to say that I know I am prone to being problematic when it comes to secrets or addictions. And what I'm saying is it's so much better if you're able to have open dialogue about that with your partner. Even if it means giving them the authority to tell you no, that you cannot spend at certain times for your health and for theirs. So
that saves me. I actually, I mean, we have a certain budget that we keep with each other, and so I have a certain amount of money each month I can spend. But then if I want to spend beyond that, I typically go to my wife, and she has I have a tell, on that. I'll be like, "Hey, babe, how much this time?" So
I'll tell you
so the
this.
one the other day when the big oopsie happened, I was like, "Hey, babe." She goes, "How much?" I told her. She goes, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I was like, "Taxes are coming."
Right. And your partner will never understand how close you are to the next milestone. They won't. That's not going to help. You can't say, babe, listen, if I spend X, I'll get Y. They will not be empathetic towards your plight in the game if they don't play it. So you just have to say, I'm going to have a ton of fun by doing this. And I'm going to be able to engage with my favorite thing in a different way, in a better way, and be more competitive. So just like, don't try to say like, guys, I'll be able to recruit the, the weekend superstar. Like they won't even know what that means. Right. So, but I do think it's a way to say, hey, I will get a lot more enjoyment out of this if I can do this. And I won't spend. It's like for me, I went hard on Spring Outbreak, and I'm like, next month I probably won't spend anything. She's like, really? She goes, really? No, I'm gonna have to remember that I said that. Right? Regardless of who comes out, regardless of what comes out in April, if it's finally Yellow Skibbies, Hulk Hogan, 19, if it's WrestleMania 6, Hulk rules Hogan, I'm going to have to pretend like it's not a big deal, even though my innards would be freaking out to get that because of my childhood memories, right? So, yeah. Well, I'm not trying to lecture people. Let's go back to.
Sounds like it. I'm just kidding.
If I'm saying anything to you out there, I'm saying it to myself more than anyone.
This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. I understand.
I think this is the best Spring Outbreak I can remember. I think that there was something for everybody in this one. I think last year's felt like a big spin push without much in return, or very little in return unless you spent. So moderate spending last year, there was very little to be gained. This year, moderate spending, it felt like you could still get some really good stuff. Like you could get that Brett gear, maybe that Bailey gear. You could get, if you did that Screamium loot, you got something good out of there. I just didn't see any bad duds until the final day and whatever. Put on your tinfoil hats about why that happened, but who knows? So I had a great experience with Spring Outbreak, and I was able to get way, way more than I think I've ever gotten out of any contest.
Wow.
Because of
that's a big statement.
The Screamium loot exceeded expectations in a way that no loot ever has for me. Like I did the flagship offer, right? So it was like it was like 85 loot coins, and it was, but man,
it was a big boy.
Yeah, it was a big boy purchase for sure. But I got 2 Chemical X plates. I got, I got a yellow Rumble plate. I got 2 Bianca's braid plates, and I had 0 before. I straight up recruited Showboat Gunther and Striker Naya. So like I've had the worst loot luck for months, probably since last Zombie month, like with like the LA Knight release. I've had horrible horrible luck in the loot. And this changed it all. I mean, I was able to shard recruit LA Knight. I was able to shard recruit CM Punk. I got more. Yeah, I got more out of this.
Jeez.
I got more out of this contest and I got the moment, and I didn't blow the bank. I didn't go crazy, crazy, crazy. I didn't. And I have gone crazy, crazy, crazy in the past and gotten far, far less. So to me,
Fair.
it was super rewarding. Which I think it might have redeemed this MLC, that I got so much that it might have actually redeemed when I had previously said this was the worst MLC that I could remember. The only time I hated an MLC this much was when the community, most of the community didn't get Razor. Remember that month? Remember like Powerhouse Razor, and like so many people didn't max the MLC and didn't get it, and they were really upset, and it was a really tight month points wise, and we wondered where are the points? Did they forget points? I don't know.
Yeah.
But to have the steel cage be like everywhere for everything, I didn't like it. I mean, I just didn't like it. I didn't have a lot of fun with it, being told no. Yeah, you got all this good stuff, but you can't use it. It's a no. It's a no for me. I'm like, what?
It's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, why? Why would they do that?
I mean, it's a feature. They're adding the feature in, trying it out, and trying to figure out what's gonna make it the best version of itself. But some growing pains.
There's two things that make WWE Champions great, make it a truly great game. One of those things is the fun you have in your faction. Okay. So just the being on voice chat, hanging with the friends, cutting up during flash feuds, all that's the first and best thing about WWE Champions. The second is roster acquisition. Getting new things to use in the game. So Steel Cage nullified roster acquisition.
Okay.
So they took away, for me, half the fun, right? Okay, so you got these chemical X plates, but you know what? You can't. There's a steel cage. You can't use them. You're like, what? So, and I know some people, right? They spend a lot more than you and I do. They make us look like guppies, right? And then, certainly they've been vocal with how much they did not enjoy. I think Steel Cage is kind of innovative. It's kind of cool. But it's too much of a good thing. There's too much of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I ordered a Shirley Temple at a restaurant the other day. You know what Shirley Temple is, Lee, with the cherry Sprite and cherry syrup, little grenadine. And I ordered a Shirley Temple, and the bartender put way too much grenadine in it, and it was gross. Like,
it was way too cherry.
It's one of my favorite drinks. It's one of my favorites, right? And it was like offensively sweet. and I just thought, for this metaphor's purpose, like you gotta get the mix right. It can't be all syrup. You gotta have a little offset. You gotta have a little tart. You gotta have a little of that Sprite. What they used to call limon. Remember the limon flavor?
All flavor, no waver. Yeah.
Man, I haven't said the word limon out loud, maybe ever.
Like lime in Kansas?
It was lemon lime. It was a word that Sprite made up for the purpose of its own advertising years ago. Before the Obey Your Thirst campaign, which was so popular, in recent years.
About that one.
Yeah. So that's what I think about Steel Cage, right? It's like, oh, it's kind of cool, but dude, this is too much. This is way too much. I don't want to do this for.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this for everything. Also, I made the joke about like it's kind of funny. We're celebrating like Women's History Month. We've got a couple of really good female in the game and female events, and yet to honor the plight of women, right? We had to be oppressed all month to understand the struggle and the discrimination that they've faced over the course of history. And it was just like, okay, now the steel cage makes sense. To honor women, we're gonna treat you the way history has treated them, and not give you access to all the things that all the others have. So, yeah, right. Does that make you a little uncomfortable?
I mean, like.
Oh well, what do you do? What do you do? I love women. My mother was a woman. My wife is a woman. My daughters are women. Women. They're great. They're great, and they've had a hard time. They've gone through a lot. Didn't get to vote in our country until it's like 100 years ago, Lee. Like 100 years. Think about that. Women have only had the right to vote in the U.S. for like 100 years.
I don't remember exactly when it was.
People were driving.
I know Wyoming was the first.
People were driving cars. The Model T was on the road before women could vote in this country.
Gotcha.
Think about that.
There's a Women's History Month fact for you.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of riffing here. You can verify the dates with Slim Numbers. He's our numbers guy. But we're going to make him the official fact checker of the Champions Chat podcast, Slim Numbers. That, nice. We'll say like verify with him. So it's subject to change. It's a work in progress until he confirms it. So anything else you liked about this MLC or about this spring outbreak, Lee?
Well, yeah, I mentioned like I really, really enjoyed Hornswoggle and getting to play with him, even though I didn't get him for my own roster. So that is what it is. The struggle I have is right now I'm working so much. A lot of times I just come home and play like for an hour before bedtime or whatever, and it was a challenge, I'll say that, to try and get everything done that was up during the zombie events, like every day. But that gave me content. It gave me things to do. I was never bored with it. So you'll never guess what my wife just walked in and brought me.
The right to vote. I don't know. What was it?
She brought me a Shirley Temple.
What? She made it?
I'm not even joking.
Can she hear us?
I'm not even joking.
Can she hear us?
Hear you. You're my headphones.
She made you that drink with no context?
With no context? Well, she didn't make it. She went. They just got back from an outing, and she brought me some Wendy's, and it's a Shirley Temple.
They make that at Wendy's?
I guess she said it's a cherry cream soda. Okay, so
is that your preferred drink of choice? Is that your soda of choice?
I don't know if it's my soda of choice, but I like it a lot. I like cream sodas. Cherry is one of my favorite flavors for sure.
Yeah, cherry's good. Cherry's good, and it's consistently good. Unlike strawberry, where sometimes strawberry really will fail you. It's like, ugh, who designed this thing? Wait, I don't think I can show this one on stream. I think he's on the do not use list. He's the old. He's a zombie. I don't want to say his name, but let's just say say
his name and he appears. He's not working for the other company anymore.
Yeah, well, he's not, but he's not with the company, so it's like
he's not with the company officially. But
wait a second.
Segue.
Wait a second. Can I just tell
WWE TV?
Can I just tell the truth here about this funny dilemma that I've just found myself in? I tried to be Mr. Sneaky and jump into a flash feud. And lo and behold, because we're making this show, we're on stream, and there's a flash feud contest going on. You guys will never believe who I got in the queue with and joined the flash feud with. none other than my podcast partner, Lee. we are feuding together accidentally, and we both didn't tell the other that we were going to feud. And I'm still on stream.
I wasn't gonna call you out, but I was gonna ask, like, Rusty, how am I feuding with you? And you're playing, like, you are the most divided attention person in the world right now.
No doubt. And so I am playing. You might have noticed I clicked on autoplay this is on the stream account, because I'm just trying to clear the levels for all the content creators. And so on my mobile device, I joined the Flash Feud queue, and what a dirty dog! I cannot believe sitting across from in my lane here is you. I would have never
say his name and he appears.
I didn't
playing Flash Feud with Rusty.
I didn't even know you feuded. I thought that was something you had stopped doing altogether.
What?
Yeah,
why would I stop feuding?
Well, you're busy. You were just telling us how busy you were. You were just saying you're a busy guy. You do busy things. You do busy guy things, and you go up to busy guy places. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm going to fight Nakamura in the Backlash round 1 with an acro, and I'm going to use Mr. Charles Michael Punkerson.
Is that his official name?
I'm also, well, you know what I am thinking? I don't think I equipped my steps. I think I did a total rookie move, and I don't have my perks equipped.
That's okay. I was even worse. You know what I did?
What?
I didn't equip my 2 times speed. And I was like, why is this taking forever? But we're better now.
I also have not equipped my 2 times speed. So we'll be feuding. We're perfect.
Your partner.
We're perfect partners. We're perfect together.
This round, I do have my 2 times speed now on. It was the first first matchup.
How long have you been? This is my first one. How long have you been going?
About 18 minutes.
You're over there drinking Shirley Temples and feuding while I'm out here producing the world's best mobile game content podcast. So,
hey, I'm engaging. I'm talking. In fact, I was about to say this is a great time to transition to talk about the real world of WWE, because we started talking about.
It's true.
You know, there's some people that have been removed themselves from other companies that have had a history with WWE, and we can't really.
I don't think I know about these things. Are we talking about WrestleMania, or what are we talking about?
So we can start talking about WrestleMania, but you know what intrigues me as much as WrestleMania is the Raw after Mania. They call it the Ram.
The return of Becky Lynch. When does that happen?
Oh, I hope so. My goodness.
That's what I want to know.
Greatest women's wrestler in history, and she's not there. But
you think she comes back at Mania, or she comes back on the Raw after Mania, or she comes back never?
Yeah, well, she's been on all of the Netflix commercials for a while. Like, you know, the one where it like flips the ring upside down and blah blah blah. Like, but one of the ones where I was originally going with this before we outed each other here was that zombie that you mentioned that has black in his name is potentially coming back. Who knows? We'll see.
He should come back and join the Wyatt Six and make them interesting, because they're not interesting. They don't do anything.
I think Alexa's going to do that.
But it's like, what do they even? Why did they?
Because Howdy's been injured.
But it also
is injured.
I was saying, it also feels like the way they, the rub that Bray got as well, where it was like, well, we didn't quite know what to do with him, so now he's just gonna kind of go out there and they're gonna light their phones up, and they're gonna, we're gonna do something weird and creepy, but we don't really have any, justification for it. That's always, so maybe the Wyatt Six is getting the exact treatment that Bray would have gotten had he still been here with us to do that bit himself, which is really sad and sucky to think about.
Yeah. Ooh.
Is that? I mean,
All I'll
I'm saying all of this and to honor his memory, right? I don't know. I'm in no way am I trying to degrade, be derogatory.
Right.
I love Bray. I love his whole body of work, and I was a big enthusiast and advocate for it. But he just
His
never
whole body.
he never really got the push, other than the
Sustained push. He got like 10-minute pushes, but then it was like gone.
he should have beat Cena in that cage match.
100%.
Like he should have.
100%.
There's so many should have moments with Bray Wyatt. Oh, it should have gone. It should have been different. And I would say that probably even he should still be here with us. So rest in peace, friend. What do
you think about Mania?
I don't know that I care. They're going to have to really establish a reason for me to care, because there is no bloodline story, which I thought, I really thought we were headed towards The Rock versus Roman. We're really going to put this bloodline thing to rest. Like I thought we were going to get. Last year's Mania was so perfect and so big and so right. And I thought, now that Triple H has got all of this time under his wing now, he's got more equity than he's ever had. Surely it's going to be bigger. And it's not. It's just like, triple threat match, both in the men's and women's title. The women's title match is going to be, Io and Rhea and who is it? Bianca. And then, it's like
Beyonce. Yeah.
And then I don't know, like they can't just transfer that title clean. So it's like, well, I guess Rhea's not going to win it. It wouldn't be a triple threat. It would be more of a squash match, which means Bianca's probably going to win it. And then we're going to set up Jade versus Bianca for SummerSlam. Again, is that the point of WrestleMania, is to build towards SummerSlam? That's crazy.
Well, it is the first ever 2-day SummerSlam, so maybe they're going with
I don't know. The whole thing's weird. Cena being in the main event against Cody. That's just, there's so many other stories I would have loved to have seen. Cena versus Randy Orton in a career-ending I Quit match, right? Or who else? I mean, Cena versus I don't know, not Cody, just not Cody. Cody should have had
Yeah, that's the more interesting thing for me going into it. Like, they've really done good with Cena's promos lately. Like, where he broke up with the entire WWE universe. That's yeah. Wow.
That poor little kid. Where was he? In Belgium, including this stupid little kid. Oh my gosh.
I hope that was a plant. Like,
I think so, because he was wearing $500 worth of merchandise that was brand new. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's obviously they draped him head to toe before they did that. Hey kid, we're going to make a public spectacle out of you. Why don't you come over to the merch tent and we'll give you some drip. And he's like, oh, Zutalu, this is wonderful. Of course, I would like to do this, Like the little Belgian kid, right?
Wow.
This is probably how he sounded, don't you think? I love John Cena. I'm John Cena, my very favorite John Cena. He's been so good. And they like,
maybe
okay.
I said this is why Cena turned on us, because of comments from you, Rusty.
Yeah. When Cena, what did he tell him? You make this too easy for me. Oh man, he's playing mind games. It's so good. I like heel Cena. I think he should be dressing different though. I think he should look different. He should have been Thugonomics Cena. Or he should be Cena in a suit, corporate Cena, but not not
But
hustle, loyalty, respect Cena. That's weird, you know.
But the way they justified it was so good, though, where he was like, look, you want me to have this new music and this new gimmick. You don't deserve it. You get what you've always gotten. That I thought was a master's touch, because if he had gotten with new music and gotten away from the jorts and stuff, we might actually start liking him more. But they're trying to make us hate
What if
him,
he would have
which
grew a
is
beard? What if he would just had a
that,
villain's
yeah,
beard?
a Hollywood mustache. That would have been
What if
amazing.
he, instead of a beard, he would have just painted his face with shoe polish to look like a beard and bleach his mustache, his handlebar mustache?
Wow.
And then what if he were to call himself Hollywood John Cena because he's in all these cool movies and shows now?
Hip designer wants you to run Trick Oscar.
Okay, on this the stream that's like, I mean, I don't even know if I loaded an entourage on that rock. It was Powerhouse IOW Rock. It was so brutal, and it took forever to, but I cleared the level finally. So let's see if I can find a great level for Trickster Asuka. What matches are you excited for in WrestleMania, Lee? Surely there's something that you're really looking forward to.
Honestly, the Cena and Cody match is way better than I thought we were going to get. Some convoluted Rock versus Roman versus Cena or Cody, and I wasn't there for that. I really do think John Cena winning the 17, trying to erase Ric Flair's record, all that. Like, I think that is a very fruitful story, and I think that they should do. I think they should do that. The Intercontinental title match. I'm also very interested to see who all's going up against Braun Breaker. They've got Penta now in that. I thought AJ Styles and LA Knight were going to be in that, but who knows? And then you've got LA Knight, or I'm sorry, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Like, I think they're going to go for that, and I think that's going to surprise people how good that match would be. So any of those are kind of on my radar right now.
Yeah. Tiffy versus Charlotte is probably the match I'm looking the most forward to. I don't know why, but I'm kind of just getting like, maybe the theme of this whole WrestleMania is passing the baton to the next generation of superstar, right? Maybe Charlotte loses to Tiffy,
I could see that.
and it just makes sense because it's like, oh, she's going to be the new Charlotte, and we like it, or maybe it's like
She's gonna be the next Sunny. Ooh.
Well, and then you think about maybe the Cena versus Cody. Maybe like, what would it do for Cody's legacy if he's the guy that prevented Cena from breaking the record? I just don't see
Not as much as it would do as if John Cena won the 17th from him.
I don't see that happening though. You see Cena going on a title run?
Oh yeah. I don't see it not happening. Like, I at the very least, if it doesn't happen at Mania, then it will happen at SummerSlam or something like that. But I guarantee they're going to give Cena the belt, and they're going to make a big deal about it, and it's going to be annoying. I mean, literally, they've like infused Cena with Dominic Mysterio energy, and it's perfect.
That's kind of funny. I don't know. I want to care. I really want to care. There's just so many things that they didn't build that I would have loved for him to build. I would have loved for him to build something interesting with the Judgment Day. I would have loved for him to build something just really, really redemptive with DIY. I think maybe I don't care because so many of the people that I love aren't in prominent and interesting stories.
Yeah, I could see that. And even the ones like Jey Uso versus Gunther, like I'm sure Jay's gonna win, and I love that for him. But the build has been terrible, like just terrible.
Hmm.
So we'll see. And the EO, winning the title right before probably dropping it to one of the other two. I mean, that was interesting too. Like I don't know. There's just a lot of interesting decisions that I feel like are going into this Mania, but more often than not they pull it off. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt for now. But
What would happen
yeah,
if so many of the matches as designed were interrupted and used to tell a bigger, better story?
that's kind of weird for a Mania to be that, but you already called that out, so
I
I
just
don't know.
I I don't know. I just don't get it. I want to get it. I want to love it. I want it to be remarkable and legendary, and I just don't see how they get there. But I didn't see Jay winning the Rumble either, right? So,
Right.
um,
And that happened. And we didn't see Cena turning heel, even though, like, okay, so how much of this was them covering their butts afterwards and figuring it out, and how much of it was actually playing the long game? But, like, the things that they did that now you look back and you're like, oh, when The Rock put up that three fingers, that's what John Cena does. Like, he
hmm.
could have been telegraphing this way, way back there. I don't know.
Do you think
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
did we ever find out what The Rock gave Cody in his pocket, the secret hand? Did we ever find out
Secret
that?
handshake.
I don't think we ever
No,
found out.
I think that's the long term. Honestly, I think it depends on the Rock's schedule. Like, I think he's like, one minute he's like, yeah, I could be in Mania, and then the next minute he's like, oh crap, I got a movie to make. So, John, you're up. Or like, who knows?
I don't like
Who
that. I
knows?
don't like that from a fan's perspective. I just don't. I'd rather not. I'd rather not him set the table if he can't serve the meal. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
just
ooh,
don't.
that's
Yeah, I don't need him to do that. I don't need him to help advance a story that he's gonna then disown. Like I don't. That's not the kind of father I want for this family. I don't need a deadbeat. I
wow.
need somebody who's gonna be there. I need somebody who's gonna be there for the kids. So
That's
maybe
hilarious.
I'm projecting. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe, but all I will say is they've gotten it right most of the time before. There's been some stinker manias out there. If this one's a stinker, it's not going to end the world. We've seen them before. It'll happen at some point again. But I think they could do some good things. I don't know. Like you're right though. A lot of the people that I want to see, like I want to see Jacob Fatu in a more prominent role. I want to see, I always want to see AJ Styles doing more and better things. I don't know. I do want to see. Somebody mentioned like El Grande Americano, Chad Gable in a mask
I do
thing.
like him.
Like
I do like him a
yeah,
lot. A lot. Way more than Penta. I don't care about Penta. I don't think
Penta's
he's
interesting.
I think he's the most overrated debut since the gobbledygooker.
Wow. Hot takes with Rusty are back,
Are you
everybody.
excited about Penta? Like, are you enjoying what he's doing?
Yeah, I like Penta. He's fun.
Like you think like, oh, this is really good. This is really fresh. This is really original. This is
Yeah,
not.
I mean,
This is not
he
just Rey Mysterio doing Rey Mysterio things on a younger body. You don't think that?
no.
What?
I mean, he doesn't need to zero Miedo so many times, but
We know he
no, I
has no
like the.
fear. Oh, you got no fear. Okay. Well, you have no charisma either. I don't think you just have a cool outfit. So
At least we know Rusty's offending everybody tonight,
I
not
wanted
just.
to like him. I wanted to care. I had never seen him prior. So I had no investment. Like I wasn't emotionally invested. I didn't watch Lucha Underground. I don't know. My only understanding of him is his debut in WWE, and it has been lackluster. And there's guys from NXT that I would have rather seen get called up. He's not doing anything better than the guys from Axiom are doing. You know,
Wow.
like they are better in ring and on the mic than Penta is in every way.
Penta's he's doing some, but he may end up in the tag team scene pretty soon
With
too.
Dragon Lee,
No, his brother.
oh,
His brother comes over,
I
which
have no
is
idea.
likely.
Who's his brother? Cinco?
Well, we can't talk about him. He's
Oh, I don't even
wow.
know what. Because Penta means five, right? And like Latin. So then I was like, well, maybe it
Right.
just means five. Maybe he's also five in a different language. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. No. His brother's. We could talk about him if he debuts, I guess.
Is
Right now,
Tongaloa ever
he's.
going to come back? As like, because
I
I
don't know
that's
what
where I'm
happened
going.
there.
I was like, hey, remember like the years of investment you had on this story that you forgot about, that you forgot to end? If there's one thing Cody's taught us, it's you've got to finish the story, right? You can't just oh, Roman beat Solo, now it's all up. What? That's it? Oh, that was
Where did
not.
Solo go?
I keep hitting this sub move, like thinking it's going to go different on the stream, and every time she's reversed it, and I haven't been smart enough yet to figure out just to quit the match because I'm in the middle of a tour, so like it matters not. Well, I think we should call this episode our first episode back in 2025. We should call this episode quits, and you know what we should do? We should jump over to stream and give away. We should give away a moment, the 2025 spring outbreak moment, which is going to be really, really cool. Well, hey, if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever it is that you do podcasts, or you're on YouTube, let's just say this: you can catch Lee and I every Friday night on the WWE Champions main channel on Twitch. And we do something that I think the community really enjoys called Power Ratings. And we need you to join in those power ratings. We need you to enter the chat. And when you do, you'll be able to cast your vote. You'll be able to let us know your thoughts on the newest superstars in the WWE universe. And let me just say, we do this for the community. Like that's why we do this. That's why we're not in it for ourselves. And we miss you guys. We miss being able to do this for you. And Lee might have some thoughts on that.
No, I miss getting to do the podcast, and hopefully around the May timeframe, June timeframe, my schedule lightens up a little bit, and maybe we can do this again. Who knows?
What if I did the podcast with artificial intelligence as my co-host? You think is that possible? Just like do like a chat GPT somehow co-host.
Quick story. For my studies that I'm doing right now, I had this massive test, and I was like, "How am I going to study for all this?" So I plugged it into the Google, podcast creator thing that it does,
Oh yeah.
and it was frightening how good of a podcast episode it created from my study notes. And like it added things in, but it was like the things it added in were examples that were super relevant. Like, okay, so it's this, but so imagine you're walking down the street, you see this, and this happen, and I'm like, that's nowhere in my notes, but that is exactly a perfect example of what it was trying to illustrate.
Oh wow.
It's freaky, but it makes like a guy and a girl voice, and I mean, at first you're like, that sounds a little robotic, but the longer you listen, the more it's just like, oh yeah, this is just two people having a conversation. Like it is. So yeah, maybe you could do an episode of Champions Chat entirely in Chat GPT.
These are the droids you're looking for. Well, that's cool.
That's it for the podcast episode. We're gonna give some stuff away. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube or Apple or Spotify.
We'll see you next time.